Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome to the final match of Dynascape's Intermediate Cup for the semifinals. We have one final match to go before we can close the book on the semifinals and then move right along to begin the finals with that showcase happening, which I believe will be at 0 UTC. But for now, we have our eyes focused on this match. Timor-Leste versus you, our 12th seed versus our 9th seed. Of course, commentating is Era Sunny. Joining me in the booth is going to be Sparky. Sparky, how's it going?
It's going absolutely fantastic. It's been a pretty electrifying weekend so far, and some pretty interesting results this weekend so far. And as you mentioned, this is the final match of the semifinals, so gonna lock in the top 6 once this match is over. And I think you spoiled a little bit of the finals map pool showcase time. Tentatively,
it's tentatively. In the announcements.
Is it? Okay, cool. Never mind. Didn't think we had revealed it yet, but yeah, 0 UTC will be the final showcase. Got plenty of interesting maps, if I do say so myself, in store as oh dear Lord, Sidger, why are you allowed to use any music production programs?
I think we should give Sidger a permanent ban off of Audacity or FL Studio.
Yeah, somebody please remove FL Studio from their computer. I didn't know they made a Christmas album.
Yeah, make a Spotify. Can we just remove?
They have a Spotify. Like they have an artist page, which is
yeah.
Which honestly, if you've ever wanted to get into music production, this is the bar you have to get over.
Yeah, you can search it up on Spotify. He has a Spotify profile.
Oh God.
Thankfully, it's short and sweet. So
I didn't know that. I didn't know that we had a special thing for ranks below an A. It says you tried.
Oh yes, that's a throwback to the BSM brawl, which I believe
God.
we were making little like funny badges, and I believe one of the staffers sketched up that wonderful grade, and I guess it caught me off guard too when I saw that earlier on in this tournament. So thanks to the person that created this skin, which I believe is Normaplier, for adding that little Easter egg.
Yeah, there's very few times we get to see that particular badge, but yeah, I mean, whenever we allow warm-ups and Sidger is in a tournament, there's a pretty good chance we get to see it. But with that being said, I think we're gonna move on to the second warm-up. Mercifully, not that other song anymore, and something a little bit shorter here. And after this, we'll get into those roles, protects, bans, and that all-important first pick.
Yeah, and I believe this is a losers bracket match as well. So, Timor-Leste, I believe, having to defeat a team prior, and same with you. The names are escaping my mind. I cannot think of them for the life of me.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't. Oh, here we go. It looks like it was Timor-Leste took down HTT, and
Yes.
looks like you was taking on the Swaggers.
Yeah, so Timor-Leste actually being the underdogs in that match against HTT, taking them 6-3, while you also being, you taking down the Swaggers 6-1. So this is going to be a pretty hype match, and I believe the winner of this match will go up against Cat Yum, Dog Yum, Rabbits next week for losers finals. See who can secure their spot for that finals conditional later on. But for now, we're going to have to see which team will get to that state.
Yeah, and this is one of those showcases of like, this is a very standard cut and dry chart. I think this was used in Cold Open Cup. I think around this range also. It was either quarterfinals or semifinals, but on a much higher rate, 1.3, definitely much higher than what we would have wanted in in something like Cold Open Cup. But I mean, everybody knocking out of the park. I think Siger is just taking a backseat not to waste any stamina. That, I mean, can't blame him. It's definitely a pretty tiring chart.
Yeah, as I'm looking, it looked like this was used in Cold Open Cup round of 16
Oh wow.
on base rate.
Yeah, base
So
rate.
this is a bit higher than what we put in Cold Open Cup.
And here are the rolls. Siger rolling that 83. Ya rolling the 24. So Timor-Leste going to be able to choose if they want to protect or ban first. Now looks like they're going to opt to ban.
Going to opt for that first ban. So you going to go for that first protect. Would not be surprised if they would go for their same protect from their first match, because this is a conditional match, which, if I recall correctly, they opted to protect Rice 1, which was Okashi no Ukoku, I believe, but they could switch things up and go for one of the other Rice picks, maybe something like Naked or Sparkle Downer.
Yeah, there's definitely some options for them to go into. I imagine anything in the upper half of the map pool is pretty good for them to go into. Maybe wanting to avoid the more technical charts, but yeah, as you were saying, they went for Rice 1 last match. They're not changing it up here. They're going to protect Rice 1 once again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it type of situation, as we get into Timor-Leste's protect.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna see the same protect from last match. I believe Timor-Leste went down into that lower range of the map pool, and yeah, we're gonna see. Yeah, I think they're sticking with that LN1 protect. They're gonna go for Choose Me for that protect. So it looks like they indeed chose them as the protect, and they're gonna actually knock out Rice 2 from the map pool, which definitely makes sense going up against a team like you, especially after protecting Rice 1. You would want to limit their possibilities, and looks like we're going to see Hybrid 3 get the hammer from you. So both sides kind of just knocking out the opposing side's comfort range, which is definitely one of the more stronger moves you can definitely do when it comes to the protect and ban range.
Absolutely. So with that out of the way, looks like we're going to wait for Timor-Leste to throw their first pick into the ring. I would not be surprised if we just saw them focus on these LN picks. I think Siger mentioning that Drew, their third person, and their captain is not available at the moment. So maybe just changing things up, we're going to see Prongle and Siger basically carrying their side through here as they go for pull the trigger here first.
Yeah, they are gonna go for pull the trigger. I believe they did go for this during their match against HTT, if I'm correct. I mean, I should know because I did ref that match at 12 o'clock at night. It was definitely a wonderful journey. I don't think you actually played this map. Yeah, they actually never touched this map. They didn't even acknowledge it in the protect nor ban phase. So going to be something to see on the side of you, but I believe Timor-Leste did win off this pick. If I am correct on that one.
Potentially.
I'm just checking real quick, and yeah, they did take the point off of HTT off of this pick actually.
Yeah, and as we get underway here, you're gonna find a very early drop through this introduction. It is a pretty tricky section to get through, relatively unscathed. A couple of 200s traded back on the side of Timor-Leste. Prongle finding some of those, dropping them down into that low 99.3 range, but because of the fact that Yo found that miss very early on, able to get back up with that 400 combo cap, mitigate some of the score loss from it, and with Prongle trading that miss back eventually, it halves the lead from Timor-Leste. It is 3,000 points and shrinking as we make our way into the second quarter of the chart now.
Yeah, Sinape versus Sidra at this point, but Sinape is dropping their accuracy almost down to that low 99 margin, almost down to that 98 section. Yeah, and Sinape roughly tied in accuracy. Same with Prongle. It is just Sidra's light shining brighter than the other three, still keeping Timor-Leste in that comfort zone as Prongle reaches that 400 combo cap. But Sinape finds the drop. No more FCs remaining on the side of you. Only one more FC, and that is currently Sidra. Still standing the ground for Timor-Leste, for Prongle to catch up from that miss, and they're catching up very well. 99 almost at that 99.2 mark, almost reaching that 1,000 combo range. As Ya is also recovering very well. Sinape reaching over that 400 combo cap, trying to recover from that miss, going into the final third of this map.
Yeah, it was a pretty dirty miss overall as well, down below the 99 mark. Only player below 99 at the moment in this lobby, so pretty significant in terms of the team score damage being done as we make our way into the last quarter here. Another drop from Sinape, going to make matters go from bad to worse as Ya follows as well. 22,000 points now, the lead for Timor-Leste going into this outro, as I think just the mental stamina starting to reach a bit of a fever pitch here for the side of you. Not able to carry it through till the end here. But with that being said, I don't think they would have willingly gone into these LN picks anyways, so just trying their best to try and catch Timor-Leste out might be the name of the game for them on these LN picks, and we'll see what they can do on the Rice picks when it is their turn to pick. So good opening decision for Timor-Leste, able to secure that first point here.
Yeah, a really good scores. 972 from Prongle, 970 from Ya, and Sidra with the MVP, the only FC on the board. I believe that was a 982. And you immediately firing back with Rice 7. We're going to see 10, Sen, Men, Ritai getting the pick. Going to try and capitalize off of more or less the Rice capabilities of Timor-Leste. I believe they did struggle a bit on Rice against HTT. That's foggy to me, but I know you can pull off very good Rice scores, and we're going to see the swap out of Sinape with Era Rezu. Looks like Ya will be sticking in for you, and Timor-Leste will still have the duo of Sidra and Prongle.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty interesting insight as to how Timor-Leste is going to handle the Rice picks in this match, because this is arguably one of the more Straightforward yet still uncomfortable Rice picks in this pool, Rice 1 notwithstanding. There are some tricky sections in this chart that break up some of the chord jack-esque monotony, and it'll be interesting to see how those transitions pan out for both of these rosters as we start things off here. Yeah, actually finding a pretty significant accuracy drop, and Rezu finding the first couple of misses here as we transition into the first real dense chord jack portion of this chart. Timor-Leste starting to pull away here to the tune of about 17,000 points, and we're only just getting into the second quarter of the map now with Rezu finding yet another drop.
Yeah, Rezu continues to find these misses. Yeah, actually recovering very well. Back up to that quarter combo mark. Sidra with the highest accuracy in the lobby, 99.7. Prongle not too far behind. Rezu and Ya relatively staying close in accuracy as Rezu trying to climb back from that miss, and Ya finding a miss as well. Going into the back half of this map now, Sidra finding a 200, not really going to matter. 30,000 points of difference to work with here. As we get into a more tricky section with these Graces mixed in with those mini jacks, these flames can really trip up, and this lead is starting to slowly increase by what I would assume would be some accuracy drops. And a Trill back into some of these jacks with the mixes of Graces and Flams, and you were not kidding about these transitions. Everyone's seeming to do very well on them though. Yeah, climbing up to that combo cap into the final part of the map, but it's just that lead is shrinking, but it's not going to be enough time, I don't think. Roughly 30,000 points of difference to work with. Sidra and Prongle still holding on to FCs. Very good scores, but in the end, Timor-Leste will be taking the first break point of this match. Very good scores overall.
Yeah, very good performance from everybody. Rezu with the highest overall accuracy here at the end, about a 100th% ahead of Prongle here, despite the couple of misses, but it's not enough to see them over the line. Just not able to keep that run clean enough to see them through. I think if both Ya and Rezu had FC, they probably would have been able to take that point back on accuracy alone, especially towards that back half. Both Sidra and Prongle started to find a number of 200s to really damage their accuracies by a couple of 10%, but ultimately able to hang on to the FCs on the side of Timor-Leste, and that saw them over the line despite everything else happening here. And red side not wasting any time. LN1 going to be the pick here.
Yeah, and it looks like, I'm reading the chat right now, Rezu's keycap must have came off, is what they are reportedly saying. So yeah, definitely those hardware issues can definitely get into the way. But you know what else can get into the way? Those gamma rays, man.
Oh god, don't remind me. Honestly, the fact that hearing that Rezu's keycap came off and they were able to still hold on to the accuracy that they did is actually incredibly terrifying as we get underway with this LN1 pick. Sinead picking up the early drop early enough for it to not make too much of a difference. This is one of the longer charts in this pool, so recovery not going to be the worst thing to ask for, but it does spot Timor-Leste a bit of a advantage as the other three players in this lobby cross that 400 combo cap, and now we start to see the lead start to trickle over to the red side more and more. 4,500 points the difference, and I think this map is really going to come down to the mental focus of the players as Ya finds the next break. No FCs for the side of you once again, as some of these anchored LNs on the outer columns giving them a little bit of trouble, but able to stabilize just a little bit, keeping themselves above that 99% mark as we transition into the next chorus. And it's 12,000 points now, the advantage for Timor-Leste, and about to climb another double miss for you as the lead now doubles for Timor-Leste.
Yeah, and as we are getting into the course of this map, more misses were present, I believe, as it looked like Sinead and Ya missed at roughly the same time, about 40 judgment or 40 combo apart from each other. Prongle and Sidra still brute forcing, despite Prongle being at that 98 mark and Sidra missing, and that miss being traded by Sinead actually twice now. So it is now still in Timor-Leste's favor I believe even if Sine didn't find those misses and Sidger did, it would still be in Timor-Leste's favor, but just in way less points. It's more or less now the accuracy. Sidger almost matching, or Sidger actually beating out Ya, and Prongle beating out Sineb accuracy-wise. So Sineb finds some nasty drops and dropping them down to the 97s, and there's a miss from Prongle. No more FCs remaining now.
Yeah, but the damage has already been done. 36,000 points of cushion for Timor-Leste. They can afford to find some of these misses, especially as we get into the first of the 2 guitar solos in this chart. We'll see how the players can handle it. It goes from this pseudo-coordination pick into a bit of a density section, and this could be the opportunity for you to start clawing back some of the lead if Timor-Leste isn't too careful, but everybody managing to FC their way through it. A number of 200s raining down across the board, but everybody FCs through that first solo. As we take stock of the situation, Timor-Leste going to be able to see that they are ahead at the moment with some combo to boot. Everybody above that 400 combo cap, but as it stands, there's still a quarter of the map left to go, and like I mentioned, there's a second guitar solo coming through here where it transitions back into that density away from the coordination. If you can keep it clean enough, and if Timor-Leste isn't too careful, we could see some fireworks here at the end, but 35,000 points is a tall ask to climb out of.
Yeah, and it looks like Sidger and Prongle, and pretty much everyone now, relatively keeping combo very well. Going into this last part, like you said, there's one last solo left to go, but I think the damage has already been done as everyone is actually performing quite well now, but it's just earlier, and Sidger finding a miss won't do much, will only close the lead by maybe a couple hundred points, maybe 1,000, but as the map closes out, there's just not much left, and Timor-Leste will be taking that advantage off of that breakpoint and will be making things 3-0.
Yeah, the game plan pretty cut and dry here for Timor-Leste. Run the gamut of these LN picks and pick up where you can on your opponent's picks. So Rice 7 didn't work out too well for you. They do still have their Protect in the back pocket to work off of, and they're going to opt to go for it here. Rice 1 going to be the decision. See if maybe they can out-physicality Timor-Leste on this more straightforward Rice pick.
And it looks like Rezu's keyboard is starting to show some signs of the pearly gates here, is what Rezu is currently relaying in the chat, which is not looking good for you. Even being down 3 points, now having a potential keyboard issue is not what you want going into this next map.
Yeah, if anything, like, hats off. I can imagine how annoying it must be to go into a match like this, knowing that you're down a couple of points, and now you have this to deal with as well. But in times of adversity, we see some pretty incredible performances have come out because of it. So all eyes to see if Rezu can basically carry the mantle here for you and see if they can notch their first point on the board, or if Sidger and Prongle can take their second breakpoint. They don't feel too confident about their chances. I think they understand the limits of their own physicality, but regardless, they need to put their best foot forward if they want to try to keep the sweep on board. And Prongle finding the first drop here isn't going to make things very easy for them, as Yu starts to pull away here with about a 10,000 point lead out of the intro.
Yeah, and Yu starting to actually, as I was about to say, Yu is starting to build back their team here from this 3-point deficit, but Ya is starting to find some misses, and those are 2 misses too many. Rezu having the highest accuracy in the lobby, 99.78, roughly beating out Sidger with a 99.73, but Ya finding a chain of misses despite out-acting Prongle, still giving Timor-Leste the lead and going out of this first half of the map, as that is not what you're looking for. But Rezu trying to keep things in a rough, close point difference still, as Ya is starting to recover from those misses. Sidger and Prongle trying their hardest to keep things in their favor, but that lead is starting to shrink, and Sidger misses. That lead's going to go over to you.
Yeah, they were teetering on a knife's edge there. That lead was all for naught as Siger needed to keep that FC going if they wanted to try and keep things on their side. Prongo was starting to find accuracy drops left and right, but still able to hold on to the combo that they had built up, but a little bit too much to overcome here. As we continue on into this last sliver of chart, it is 16,000 points in favor of you. This is the break that they needed to try and right the ship here, and I mean, keyboard issues or not, 99.85% accuracy from Rezu. Still holding on to the FC. Can they keep it through till the end? There isn't that much left to play through. If they handle this last stream, oh, they missed second to last note. And I don't know what they'll blame on that. It's not my fault.
993. Yeah, I don't think that's a keyboard issue, man. I mean, definitely.
Jeez.
I think more or less that most likely could have been mind block. Maybe you played the map one too many, and maybe just fumbled that ending, or nerves even.
Just put your finger over the one miss. We'll give them the FC. That that is insane. Like I said, I mean, through adversity, you pull out some of these performances out of the bag, and you notches their first point on the board. It is 3-1 here. And Timor-Leste gonna go for LN2 here.
I think my internet might have reached the pearly gates. Oh, okay, here we are.
Back
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. My Wi-Fi decided to, just say nope. And okay, I looks like I didn't miss much. I only missed the pick from Timor-Leste, and they're going to go for Sailing Force. You going to avoid that sweep, going to look to see if they could rebuild here and maybe potentially take a break point if it's doable. Sinead is going to have to look out for or keep an eye on for those misses and try to keep that to a nil, as needs to just keep that accuracy up. But if they can manage that, I feel like you can sneak out maybe a potential breakpoint. And here we are, already guns blazing out into this map, already crossing that 400 combo count. And you having the slightest lead out of this first part. Sinip and holding up very well with roughly the same accuracy, and same with Siger and Pongo, just falling a bit behind from them.
Yeah, this is the closest we've seen one of these LN charts so far here, going into the second third of the chart. It's about 3,000 points in favor of you, just based on the accuracy alone. All 4 FCs left on the table. And honestly, I'm really surprised that they went for the density over something wildcardy like Kickback. It was on the table here. This is probably Yu's best opportunity to get a breakpoint if they were to get one off of these LN picks. The density just becomes straightforward rice, and they have shown that they have the physicality to be able to handle this as we continue on into the back half of the chart. Things go into a bit of a slow LN inverse section. Can everybody hang on? This is the most likely portion of the map where somebody were to find a slider break, but everybody keeping their cool before diving right back into the density. And there's a bit of an accuracy drop from Sinead down into that low 99% range, still able to hold on to their FC. However, the lead has gone back to Timor-Leste going into the last quarter of the chart.
Yeah, there only is so much map left to go, and despite everybody still holding on, 10,000, now 11,000 points of difference. It's just Sid accuracy drops, and it looks like Timor-Leste is going to take a point off of this and make things 4-1. Very good scores. Everybody FCing. It was just Sinead finding that rough ending there, which gave Timor-Leste that lead. And yeah, actually having the best accuracy out of everyone here, 99.24, 975k, taking the MVP on this one, actually doing really well as everyone else, getting above that 970k range. And I believe Sede might have been close to that 970k range as well, but they left the lobby as soon as the map ended, so I couldn't catch that score.
Yeah, it was just that one section that was really the undoing for you. I think that would have been within about a couple thousand points if that accuracy drop didn't come through. But I mean, them's the break sometimes, as as we see the next pick coming through, it is going to be Rice 4 for you. I think this is their best opportunity to really stamp their authority on these Rice picks. They did really well on Rice 1 to basically show off what they are made of, and this is one of the more arduous picks to get through relatively unscathed. There are some really aggravatingly aggressive bursts and free-form snaps found throughout some of these sections that if you're not careful on those transitions, you can find yourself just spiking so many misses.
And yeah, we're going to see Naked get the pick here. Rezu tapping back in replacement of Sinead. Prongle and Sider is still going to be the dynamic duo, looking to take a break point off of this and potentially taking things to a match point situation. While Yu is trying to look for a repeat of what the last map was, which I believe, if I'm correct, was I believe Rice 1? Yeah, Rice 1. And we're going to have to see, and here we go. This is one of our more shorter picks, actually. So not a lot of room for mistakes. And here we go underway with the map already.
Yeah, this has core jack influence, a lot of mini jacks found throughout, but once we get into these verses, you can see the more freeform styling start to reign through. A bit of a vocal dump as Ya finds the first drop through this introduction, and even despite that, the lead doesn't immediately spike in favor of Timor-Leste. It's because of the fact that Rezu holding on to this 99.9% accuracy, able to keep it within striking distance just off that alone, and giving Ya enough time to get back up over that 400 combo cap to recover, and Yu is starting to pull the lead back in their favor.
Yeah, and Prongle also finding that drop in accuracy as well. They found a lot of 200s in these bursty patterns, dropping them down to that 98 mark, which is definitely also one of the causes for that lead to go back into Yu. And it's now roughly 3,000 points difference, but Ya finds another miss, but that lead is tossing back and forth now, as it looks like Prongle is starting to gain their accuracy back up, but they cannot afford anything. They are tied with Ya, virtually tied. Ya finding a 200. Going into this last part of the map, there is room for chances. 8,000 points and shrinking. Prongle, or we're going to have to see a miss from Timor-Leste, but I think now it's too late. Now Timor-Leste going to bring things to a match point situation and taking a break point. And even with Rezu's 995k V1SS, it wasn't enough.
Oh, that is heartbreaking if you are Rezu. Imagine that is the score of the weekend, I would imagine. 116 300s on something like that. The V1SS, unrewarded efforts, but I mean, hats off. Saying that they were having keyboard issues, I think they just found 6th gear, honestly.
I think they might have found their spare keyboard or something. I have no idea.
They have unlocked the secret. I don't know, but that is ridiculous. As it is now Timor-Leste up to pick once again.
And things are just screaming kickback right now. LN4. I would not be surprised if they go for that long no pick. Try their hardest to just close the door on you. And look to cement their name in the top 6 of Dynascape's Intermediate Cup. But we're going to have to see what they're going to go for. They also have those 2 hybrids up on the board as well. They do have Sanji Juni Hun, I believe, and Daylily. Ogi did get banned from Yu, so that could be a little bit of a red herring of what Timor-Leste could potentially capitalize off of, but it is just off of what Sidra and Prongle feel most comfortable with. Time is ticking, and we've yet to get a pick.
Knowing them, they're probably debating if they want to go for the funny pick or if they want to go for the obvious pick. No, LN4.
Okay,
I think I think the 3 was for LN1, Hybrid 1, Hybrid 2.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case, and they are going to go for a kickback, and now that LN has all been conquered by the red team, and every single long no pick was picked from Timor-Leste, as far as I know, so definitely been capitalizing off of that. And here we go. This is Timor-Leste's attempt of closing the door on you and looking to advance to the losers finals.
Yeah, this is a best case scenario for Timor-Leste. I think they have shown that they have an advantage on these more wildcardy LN picks. The density, I mean, going into the density pick earlier on was definitely a bit of a risk. I think that was the scariest moment of the match for Timor-Leste on these LN picks, but able to navigate through that relatively unscathed, holding on to the FCs as Sine finds the first drop here, going into LN4, going to give Timor-Leste the cushion that they've been operating with on these LN picks so far in this match. And oh, that being said, Sizure trades it back this time around, and it's much later on. Sine back up with that punch call, but Ya finds the break as well. It is all on Prongle with the sole FC in this lobby to basically pick up the torch and keep the momentum going for Timor-Leste here. We are only just now finishing the first quarter of the chart, going into the chorus now. Can they keep up this momentum, or can you start chipping away at this lead?
Yeah, and as we get into the first third of this map, Sidra, even with that miss, holding up very well. Yeah, despite having the accuracy advantage, it is just off the side of Sidabe's low accuracy, but actually lower than Prongle, which I believe is currently FCing as of now. We're gonna have to see something big, and that's trades it back, and just like that, they equalized out those misses, so no harm, no foul there.
Oh, actually,
hold on a second.
Sonny, you are signing, sealing, and delivering these curses at a
same-day delivery.
Moment. Honestly,
same-day delivery is my middle name at this point.
And now, how the tables have turned. You now holding on to the 5,000 point advantage going into the back half of the chart. Can they now keep up the momentum here and pull out a surprise breakpoint on an LN pick against Timor-Leste?
And yeah, and going into the final third of this map, roughly 8,000 points of difference to work with. There is still map left. It's just Sinig and Ya need to hold on. They have to limit the amount of misses they take, as Prongle needs to climb up that accuracy. And so far, doing very well. But Sinig finding one and finding another. That lead is now in the triple digits. Sinig can't afford it, but now it's starting to flicker onto the side of Timor-Leste. This is exactly what I said, that Sinig needed to minimize these misses if Timor-Leste did, if they want to keep this lead. But now Timor-Leste starting to take this lead now. There is still parts of maps left, and Sinig finding another miss.
We're quickly approaching the end. It is still 5,000 points. It is teetering. Neither player from Timor-Leste can afford to find a drop. The last real major burst of this chart. Prongle dropping so many 200s on the burst, but able to hold on to their combo. Can they hang on here? They do!
And that's gonna be it.
Oh my goodness. Some heart and mouth moments there. Ya MVPing the lobby, able to outscore Sizure, and in the battle between the lower half, I mean, it got so close there at the end, but ultimately not able to hang on there at the end was you. And Timor-Leste will take the match by a score of 6-1.
Yeah, as they will be punching their ticket into the top 6, the losers finals. Unfortunately, we're going to have to say goodbye to the Team U. They put up one hell of a good effort, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough. Congratulations to Timor-Leste pulling up another seeding upset going into the losers finals, going to have to face off against Cat Yum, which I believe is, I believe, if I'm correct, they are, I believe, top 3 in seeding, if I'm correct, right?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but
Yeah,
that will
they're
be.
seed 3.
Oh wow, finding a third seed down this in the losers bracket. Or I mean, to be fair, we're already approaching finals. It was bound to happen at some point. Might have just lost their winners bracket match, and sure enough, they did. Dynascape hates French people or loves French people. I forget which one it is. Knocking them out 6-0 down into that losers bracket. So I think it's 1 versus 2 in
Yeah,
winners finals.
it's gonna be banned from 40M. The number 1 seed versus Dynascape loves French people, which is seed number 2. But
That's gonna
you're gonna have
be.
to. Yeah, we have one big schedule next weekend.
Only 6 teams remain going into finals. As you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the finals map pool showcase will be taking place at 0 UTC, barring any funny incidents. So everybody can look forward to that. But until then, Sonny, you got anything else left to add?
I don't really have anything else to add, but just to keep an eye out for that final showcase. You don't want to miss it. That will be broadcasted live roughly 5.5 hours from now, so you do have some time. Go get up and stretch, drink some water, get some hydration, get ready. For now, for the remaining 6 teams, I bid you good luck into the finals, and I tip my hat off to you. But for now, goodbye, everyone.
Bye.